One of the questions I get asked the most is what is the difference between grilling something and smoking something, and which one is my favorite? So in today's video, I'm going to show you both cooking methods. I'm going to cook some chicken, but do it two different ways, and I'll show you which one is my favorite. In order to show you the difference between grilling and smoking, I'm going to cook up these two chicken halves that I have right here. So I just cut this whole chicken in half, and one half I'm going to grill, and then the other half I'm going to smoke. And then you guys will see exactly what the difference is, the difference in the cooking method, the difference in the finished product, and then you can decide for yourself which one you like. So for the prep, I'm going to keep it the same on both of them. I'm going to hit both of them with just a little bit of olive oil. So this is going to help the seasoning stick to the outside. It's also going to help crisp up the skin, hopefully. For the seasoning, going with my all-purpose rubs. Again, this is perfect on chicken, pork, beef, really anything. And we're just gonna go nice even layer on the bottom side. Just gonna pat that in. This one here as well. You want to try out new recipes or new seasonings or even new grills or new cooking methods? I think chicken is a great way to go because it's such a versatile protein and you can pretty much cook it all sorts of different ways. Lift that wing, get these chicken pits. So super simple, very easy, nothing complicated. Chicken is seasoned. I'm gonna let these guys hang out for just a minute. But before I fire up the grills, let me give you a quick summary of what the difference is between grilling and smoking, at least the way that I look at it, the way that I've been cooking and approaching these two different cooking methods. In short, grilling is cooking something over high direct heat, and it's usually a pretty short cook. Smoking, on the other hand, is cooking something low and slow, where you try to infuse as much smoky flavor into the meat as possible, and usually that takes much longer than grilling. And as you can imagine, a lot of it will depend on the cut of meat that you're cooking to which method you should be using, right? So for example, a thin steak is probably best grilled, right, over high direct heat, because it's thin, it's going to cook super fast, it's going to give you that beautiful char and crust on the outside. Whereas if you're cooking a big old brisket, that's a big tough muscle that's going to require a long time to break down all that connective tissue, all that fat. So smoking is the preferred method for a cut like that. But for now, let's just go fire up the grills. I'm using two different cookers to cook these two chicken halves. One's going to be grilled, the other one's going to be smoked. So let's get them going and get these guys on. For the smoking part, I'm going to be using my Weber Searwood pellet cooker. So this is all indirect heat, really made for kind of low and slow cooking. Now this thing can get pretty hot. It can get up to 600 degrees, but it really shines at those low and slow cooks. And again, it's all indirect heat, which is exactly what smoking is for. So I'm going to get this thing fired up and we're going to go about 250 degrees. Let's give that a second. And again, on these pellet cookers, right, it's super easy to get it started. You basically turn this dial, set your temperature, so we're going 250 degrees, press the button. You've got the hopper filled with pellets, so this is what's gonna burn. Let me take some of these out. This is what's gonna ignite and create all the smoke in the grill, and we'll cook and infuse our chicken with that smoky flavor. So I'm gonna close the lid, let this thing get up to temperature, and we'll put the chicken on. And for my grilled chicken half, I'm going to be using my trusty Weber kettle. So it's a super simple, very plain charcoal grill. You can still smoke on it, but it's really great at these hot and fast grilling sessions. Takes a little bit more work to fire up the kettle or any charcoal grill, but it is still very easy. So I like using these chimneys to start my charcoal. Fill that up to the top. Next, I've got a couple of these tumbleweeds, and these go right on the bottom of the grate here. Start these boys up. The chimney goes right on top, and it's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes to get all this charcoal fired up. Then I'm going to dump it in, and we can get the chickens going. All right, the Searwood is up to temperature, 250 degrees. So my chicken half goes on right here in the middle. I'm going to close this guy down and cook. Now, this one will take longer to cook than the grilled one because I'm cooking this at a much lower temperature, 250 degrees. The grilled one, I'm going to go about 350 to 400, so it's going to cook much quicker. So I'm going to start this one first, so hopefully, ideally, they're both going to be ready right about the same time so we can see exactly what they look like and taste them while they're super hot and fresh. All right, let's take a look at the charcoal. Ooh, that is getting nice and hot. Now, I don't want to get these too hot so my chicken doesn't burn, so about kind of halfway lit in the chimney. Just going to dump all these out. And what I'm going to do now is just kind of spread these guys out a little bit, and it feels kind of even with the heat distribution. Perfect. The grate goes on next. Now, one other thing I want to point out is I did leave about a quarter of the grill without the charcoal. That's kind of creating the indirect heat zone. And what that's for is if the chicken starts to burn or char up too much, I can always kind of slide it over to the indirect heat side so it doesn't burn. This is kind of what you want to go for. Nice layer of charcoal, a small indirect zone just in case And this thing is ready to go. I'm gonna wait for the grate to heat up a little bit. I'm gonna scrape it clean, and then the chicken can go on. All right, grill is set, ready to go. It's cruising right around 400 degrees. So I'm gonna take my chicken, put it right here in the center, and I'm going skin side up, right? Anytime that you're cooking poultry, especially over direct heat, the fat, as the chicken is cooking, the fat's gonna render out from that skin, drip on the coals, and it will flare up and just completely burn whatever food you're making. So skin side up to start. I'm gonna finish it skin side down to get that beautiful char, which is the whole point about grilling, and then the chicken should be good. This whole thing about the difference between grilling and smoking also comes into play when you're shopping for a new grill, or maybe you want to add another grill to your lineup. I get a lot of questions all the time also about what grill someone should get. What's my favorite? What's that one grill that you absolutely need to get? And the answer is much harder than just me recommending a grill, because honestly, it depends what you plan on cooking, right? If you like grilled foods more, for example, grilled chicken breast, grilling steaks, even grilling a chicken half, like I'm doing, then something like a charcoal grill or even a propane grill might work best. Now, if you want to cook things like ribs, brisket, or pulled pork, then you need a grill that can do the low and slow smoking rather than grilling. So something like a pellet cooker might work better for you. Now, that's not to say that you can't get a grill that can do both, right? Grilling and smoking. The kettle is a great example of a grill that you can grill hot and fast like I'm doing right now, or you can also smoke on it where you set the charcoal on one side, maybe add a wood chunk, and then put your food on the other side. And we've done a bunch of videos on the channel where we actually smoke on the kettle, which works great. You again have to kind of ask yourself what type of cooking you plan on doing, and then you can pick the grill accordingly. All right, let's take a look at our grilled chicken. Ooh. Dude, this thing is looking great. I just checked the temp, so the breast is sitting right around 155, but here, check out this bottom. This is the beautiful part about grilling. You get these beautifully charred up edges. Nothing's burnt. Now, the skin is not there just yet. It's not ready, so what I'm gonna do for this last minute or so, I'm gonna flip this guy over, and I'm gonna cook it skin side down directly over the coals. You have to stay by the grill. Do not do this and walk away, because this is gonna flare up really quickly and the skin will just burn. So I'm gonna stand right here. I'm just gonna kind of rotate it over the coals, making sure to get this beautiful char, crisp up the skin, and just kind of checking, seeing how it's looking. Let's flip it over, see how we're doing. Ooh, oh yeah, look at that. Move it right over here. Nicely charred up skin. This fat is rendering out. Let's flip this over again. You just want to keep an eye on it. Make sure that nothing burns, right? You want to have a little bit of the char, but you just don't want to burn the skin, because that is honestly the best part of this whole chicken. All right, chicken is done. Ooh, look at that. I mean, that is a beautifully grilled chicken half. All right, our smoked chicken is now ready too. So obviously not as charred up, right, as the one that was grilled over the coals at the higher temperature, but it does look really nice. The kind of beautiful color that's from the rub, from all the smoke. It's sitting right around 160 internal, so this thing is ready to be pulled off. Let's put it right next to our grilled chicken. And there you go, right? You can clearly see the difference between the smoked one and the grilled one. I'm gonna put these guys on the cutting board, let them rest for about 10 minutes or so, right? It's gonna stop the cooking process. That internal temperature is gonna raise a little bit more. It's gonna cool down, and then we will try them out. Chicken has rested, so now it's time to try it out. And I'm actually super excited to try these side by side. We've never made a video like this, and I never cooked like a smoked and a grilled chicken. Here, let me show you guys kind of visually the difference, right? So on the grilled one, you can see the beautifully charred up skin. It's going to be much more crispy, right, on this one. And on the smoked one, it's a more uniform color, right, from just sitting in that smoke. It still looks very nice, but that skin just won't have that crisp to it like the grilled one will have, right? And then on the underside, there we go, right? So this one got a little bit more color on the bottom here, but the grilled one definitely looks much better with these charred up edges. So let's just go right for it. I'm just gonna cut off the quarter here, the leg quarter. Look at this, just comes right off. But that looks great. That's a great looking piece of grilled chicken, right? When you think of grilled chicken, this is what I at least think about. This beautifully charred up skin, crispy edges. Let's go for it. Oh yeah. You can taste the seasoning. Definitely taste the char on the skin. Super nice and bite through texture. You can see it all just kind of came right off there when I took the bite. Meat is nice and juicy. When you think of grilled chicken, This is what I think about right here. Yeah, this is delicious. All right, let's try the smoked one next. I'm gonna do the same thing. Let's see, it'll go like this. I'm gonna separate this quarter. There we go. Look at that. This one is drippy, super juicy. All right, let's go for it. Same as on the grilled one. Right here for the drumstick. This one is juicy, much juicier than the grilled one. Even though we cooked this at the lower temperature, you can see the skin still has a nice bite through texture, at least on the drumstick here, right? It's not tough, it's not rubbery. Oh, this one is very nice too. You can definitely taste more of the seasoning on the smoked one, right? Because it was cooked at a lower temperature, so all that seasoning stayed on the chicken. On the grilled one, right, when you cook over those hot coals, a lot of that seasoning will burn off. So you still taste it, just not as much as on the smoked one. And this one is definitely juicier. I mean, here, check this out. Look at this. Packed full of juice. And you can also see a mild little smoke ring on the edges here. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video or not, but there is a little smoke ring. And definitely much more pronounced smoky flavor on the smoked one, right? Which is kind of expected from sitting in that smoke for so long. Man, that is a good piece of chicken. So both are delicious, but definitely much different, right? More of this kind of charred grilled flavor on the grilled one with the charred up skin. Not as strong on the seasoning as on the smoked one, whereas on the smoked chicken, more of that smoky flavor, right, from sitting in that smoke for so long. That skin still has a good bite through texture, much more juicy than the grilled one, and you can definitely taste more of the seasoning. As far as picking the favorite goes, I am honestly a little bit surprised here. So normally I always go for grilled chicken, right? This beautiful char, the crispy skin, that is my go-to. But trying these side by side like this, I'm going for the smoked one. Not only was it more juicier than the grilled one, but you could taste more of the seasoning on the chicken, plus it had that really nice mild smoky flavor. So yeah, I might go with the smoked one, which again, it's kind of surprising because I always prefer grilled chicken, but trying them side by side like this really gives you a good comparison on the two different cooking methods and how they turn out. And you know, honestly, you really can't go wrong with either one. Both of these were delicious. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, found it a little bit informative, and now you know the difference between grilling and smoking. So if you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and I will see you guys next time. I'm just gonna eat some more of this delicious smoked chicken. Oh yeah.